Hi, I'm Dr. Satish Kumar, and this is Kaizen Dental. Our aim here is to help dentists succeed. In today's Kaizen Dental Success Stories podcast, we have with us Dr. Anisa Sheikh, who is going to talk to us about social media marketing for the dentists. Dr. Anisa, also popularly called Anisa, your social dentist, has done her master's in dental business from DBM Academy. She's a certified digital marketing and social media marketing expert and is also a certified storyteller. She's extremely passionate about the topic of marketing, branding, and social media in dentistry. She has been a keynote speaker at various conferences, including the World Dental Show, the International Leadership Congress, and the FamDent Show. She has been awarded as the most passionate dentist twice in the past 3 years. She has also been the winner of the Most Promising Upcoming Marketing Genius of the Year at the DBM Awards. She conducts her own workshops on this subject, both classroom style and online, and has positively impacted several dentists in the process. Hi, Dr. Anisa. Thank you for taking the time to come and explain our audience all about social media. Now, my first question to you is there are a lot of young dentists who just graduate and they are more concerned about learning the basics in dentistry, whether it is root canals, composites, and all that. So, do you think social media is important for them when they have so much on their plate? And then on the other end of the spectrum, there are these senior dentists who have a lot of patience and they are continuously busy with clinical practice. Does social media make sense for them as well?
Okay, so first of all, thanks for getting me on the show. It's a pleasure to be here. So, yeah, it's a very relevant question that a lot of people get overwhelmed because of the sheer amount of social media, and there are a lot of people who are very averse to it. But to be honest, the way things have moved, especially in the past couple of years post pandemic, the way we communicate has shifted. And there's a massive shift in the way people communicate, and we are communicating more through text and social media. It's a way of expressing ourselves, and it's a way of staying connected. So yes, even if you are not actively promoting yourself or your services, you need to be there, because that's just precisely the way people are connecting in this new age and era. And whether it's a busy practitioner who's been into 10, 20, 25, 30 years of practice, or whether it's a student who is in an intern, or who's in just studying, it is important to have some kind of social presence in today's era. And I think you will agree.
Yes, I do agree to it because you yourself are an example. The practice which is booming, still you take out time for all this and with two kids. So, yes, it is important. But then what happens is now once I make up my mind, I need to be on social media. There are so
Yeah,
many platforms. There's
yeah.
YouTube, there's Facebook, there's Instagram, there's LinkedIn. And each of these platforms have its own take of how you need to make content. So how do these dentists decide which platform to start with and how do they start?
Okay, so basically, what we need to understand, whether you're a dentist or you're a doctor or you have some other business, whatever you are, branding yourself in, or whatever service or product business you are in, first, the basic thing you need to really understand is where is your target audience, okay, whom you're trying to speak. That is very, very important. And we need to understand the demographic as well as the psychographic, how these people think and make decisions. That is what you really need to understand before getting onto social media, any kind of social media. So which platform these people are, whether they are on Instagram or on Facebook or in LinkedIn. So some of the students, they are only on Instagram, okay, some of the youngsters, some of them are only on TikTok and Snapchat these days. And there will be some section who are not on Instagram at all, especially the 40 plus 50 plus crowd. They are only on Facebook. And then there is an entire section who's neither on Facebook or on Instagram. They are only on LinkedIn, because that's a more of a B2B kind of a platform. So that is what you need to really understand, whom you're talking to. Once you know whom you're talking to and where they are hanging around, in the online as well as the offline world, if you want to really do marketing, because it's not just an online thing, if you consider marketing as a whole. So once you understand where they are existing, that's the platform you need to double down on. And also you need to understand what is your unique style of communication. So do you are you very good with the written word, or are you very good with audio? So if you're very good with audio, then you might think of starting a podcast. If you're comfortable on camera, or you're doing a video, then maybe you should think of doing a YouTube channel like how you're doing. Or say if you're a very impromptu kind of person and you love doing live, then maybe Facebook Live is something you should leverage on. So it really depends on your unique style and what you thrive on. I know people who are amazing blog writers, and that's their way of expressing to the world. So Seth Godin is one of the biggest bloggers who's been around, and his main way of communicating has always been through blogs. So there are different people who will express themselves, who will best express themselves in a different style. And of course, then you need to understand where the target audience is. To sum this answer, I would say two very important things: where is your target audience, and what is your unique style? So yeah, that's the answer.
I was going to sum it up and you did my job for me. Thank you. So basically the two things, so one is what you like doing and what your audience wants. So you have to try and come to a match out there. Now imagine my audience is maybe on YouTube, okay?
Yeah.
Or maybe on Instagram. And I don't like taking photos or videos. How do I come to a compromise? How would you tell someone who is not very comfortable with social media? How do they start?
Yes. So honestly, I do have a lot of people who come onto my programs because they are very social media averse, and they say that no, I don't think this is for me. But because you are claiming that by the end of the program you will take us from point A to point Z, so we have joined. And trust me, it is just putting yourself out there and doing that first Facebook Live or doing that first video. And as I always say, progress, not perfection. You always, learn by doing. You can never watch a bunch of exercises on YouTube, and unless you pick up that dumbbell and unless you do that plank, you'll never do it right. Unless you get on the bicycle, you'll never learn to ride. So it's very similar to that. So unless you really get to it, you won't be able to do that. That said, I always tell my students, as well as all the people who come on the programs, that don't try to be someone who you are not. So if you're not comfortable with pointing things on the camera and making those, crazy reels, don't do it. By all means, don't do it. There are various other ways of making reels. You can do behind the scenes, you can do team reels, you can do before after reels, you can do so much with video. It's just not that you have to come on the camera and dance, so yeah, it all depends on what you're comfortable with. At the same time, there is always a place where we can start, and we can grow. So nobody started off as people who knew everything from the start. We always start small and then we build up from there. So I always tell my students, remember your first root canal. You never saw the dentinal map. All you saw was blood flowing through the pulp chamber, and you were wondering what I read in Cohen and where is the dentinal map. All I see is blood. And that's exactly how it is when you do your first Facebook Live. You might get tech issues, but it's by the time you get to your second and the third and the fourth, you will kind of improve. And what we do in the program is we have like the small group of 15 to 20 participants. We have a small Facebook group. We do the Facebook Live in that group. So there is only 15 people watching with you, and then you do it. And because there's nobody judging you, you're comfortable. And what I suggest the people watching this video is that just make a small group with your own family members or your couple of friends and practice in there. Look into the camera lens and speak, and eventually you will be able to do it. Trust me, you will.
There are a lot of things which you told touched a nerve. Okay, I remember the first video I tried. I know how much I fumbled and how many mistakes I made. First thing. Second thing, reels. There are a lot of people who are followers and subscribers have told me to make a reel. And that is something I'm just not comfortable with yet. But maybe yes, like you told, I would try making that first step. Perfection we'll see later. So that's a absolute good advice. What is the most important thing you feel that people who are in social media need to keep on mind, mainly dentists? what is the most important thing they need to keep in mind, whichever platform they are in?
Okay, so first of all, the most important thing to keep in mind as far as social media is concerned, if you really want social media to work for you, I always say there are three parts to that triangle. Okay, now at the bottom of two part of the triangle is what you say you are. Okay, so what is your branding saying? So for example, say you are claiming or you're saying that you're a cosmetic dentist. Okay, you say that, and all your branding, all your website, your Facebook pages, your Instagram pages, they all talk about cosmetic dentistry, because that is what you want to brand yourself in, and you call yourself an aesthetic dentistry. So that's your branding. Now the second part of the triangle is, what is your reality? Are you really doing cosmetic dentistry, or are you doing general dentistry? Be honest. Okay, so that is the second part. So if I say I'm doing pediatric dentistry, and if I'm actually doing pediatric dentistry, okay, then that is in sync. And at the top of that triangle is actually what the audience is saying. What are the testimonials saying? What are the patients saying? What are the course participants saying? What is the audience saying? So if what you say you do, if what you actually do, and if what the audience also agrees, then this whole thing of social media then starts working for you. What happens is, I see maximum dentists, they have websites where they talk about cosmetic dentistry, aesthetic dentistry. There are stock pictures. They don't have their own pictures. They are pictures which are taken from, the ready-made Google pictures, or they are stock pictures they are taken, and they have no personality in those pictures because they are just not their own pictures. And then the website talks about cosmetic dentistry and all. When you go to the clinics, it's completely different picture. And of course, the testimonials say something else. So obviously then no amount of, whatever you spend on a marketing agency, even if you hire the best agency, they will not be able to give you any success, because this triangle is not in sync. So most important is the social media triangle. It has to be in sync. Another thing which is very important as far as social media is concerned is these three things. And that is, the first thing is authenticity. Okay, so fake it till you make it really does not work on social media. Trust me, the audience is very, very smart, and they know, behind the camera, they really know, they can see through. So that is something which you need to keep in mind. And that is why I said, if you're not comfortable with reels or something which you feel that's not me, I don't think I can do this, please don't do it, because you don't want to come across as somebody who's not authentic, and that will kind of show through in the content, in your video, and you will not be able to establish the connection with your audience. So authenticity is one. Second most important thing is, whatever you're doing, whatever content you're delivering, make sure it adds a lot of value, immense value to your audience. So people watching, people are say watching this video, at the end of those 20 minutes, when they finish watching the video, they should be able to take back something in the form of education, either in the form of education, or in the form of entertainment, or in the form of inspiration. And if you can do all three together, if you can educate, if you can inspire, and if you can entertain your audience through your content, then that's absolutely rocking content. And trust me, you will do extremely well on social media. And the third part of this is something which we all struggle with. I also struggle. I think, I'm sure you also must be struggling with the regular episodes of this particular channel, and that's is consistency. So if you are consistent, if you're able to keep a consistent schedule, whether it's a monthly, whether it's quarterly, whether it's fortnightly, whatever you're doing, whether it's weekly, if you are able to maintain that consistency, then it works. So the social media triangle is one, and the other three things are authenticity, giving immense value in the form of entertainment, inspiration, and education. And the most important thing, I'm sure you will also agree, is consistency. So yeah, these are the things which you need to keep in mind.
So one is basically about the clinical part, the three triangles, and the rest is about the social media part. So that's a
Yes.
very nice way you've broken down both sections we need to keep in mind, because what happens is a lot of people only focus on the social media points you spoke, but they are not focusing about the clinical practice, the testimonials, the work they do. And others are just focusing on that part, but are not using the branding to get in patients and clients from social media. So this is a very important suggestion. So now you have told me so many things I need to keep in mind: website, testimonials, all these things. Do you think it is possible for a busy dentist to do all this? Do you advise outsourcing it? What is your take on it?
Yes, I think you have really come to the crux of it, because I might train you with everything, but at the end of the day, you need to, do it. The execution is important. So, in my case, I do it because I work 3 days clinical dentistry, and in that also I do only pediatric dentistry. My husband is there full time in the clinic, so I do understand. Where you're coming from, and there are people who are into full time clinical practice, and they might not be able to give that much time. So my suggestion is that you, even if you are outsourcing this, whether it's an agency, or the better thing to do is to outsource an in-house person, like an in-house intern or an in-house associate doctor or a staff member, or who is having maybe a little bit of an outgoing personality, like an extrovert personality, and that person can talk with your patients and basically create content and get the user generated content, or basically what we say as is the original content, which is basically your content. So agencies can only give you a result to a limit that you are giving them the material. So if you're not giving them the material, what are they going to create content about? And most of the times, these agencies which do the content creation, they do not know your culture, they do not know your vision, your mission, your brand story, what you are about, what is your backstory, because these things, generally they are into various other businesses, as in they provide social media services for different industries. And the way it works in dentistry is very different, because we are in a profession where trust is a very important factor for our patients to actually turn into paying customers, as we talk in marketing language. So basically, for a person, for a stranger to come and do business with you, or to to do dentistry, and to allow you to work in his mouth, in his or her mouth, that takes a lot of like trust factor. And that's why purely doing Facebook ads, or purely doing Google ads, or purely doing paid marketing most always never gives the results. It's always when it is combined with some kind of organic marketing and branding, that's the time it starts showing the results. So the answer is, even if you're outsourcing, make sure that you communicate all of those things which I explained, like your vision, mission, your why, your culture, your story, and your own content to the person whom you're outsourcing. And of course, if you have a bigger team, and if you have somebody in your team, like your associate doctor, or even your spouse, or someone who's doing it for you, then you can definitely outsource this. But yes, I will agree that if you are a hardcore practitioner into clinical practice, then it is better to outsource it. And in fact, I do freelance social media management, and I know how difficult this is. So yeah.
So in the last question you were answering, you were telling me something about brand story, mission, vision. Okay. I've heard about mission and vision before, but what is this about brand story?
Okay, so as I said, dentistry is a profession wherein it's a trust business, and people will not work with you unless they know, like, trust you. Now, there are a lot of dentists who are doing the same thing. Like, you're not the only one, right? I mean, there are dentists who are doing implants, cosmetic, everything what we are doing. So why should a potential patient come to you for dentistry? And in general also, if you see any brand, why do you go to maybe Starbucks, or why do you buy from Amazon? Or there are several sites, right? So that actually comes down to the why and the story behind the brand, and how that brand makes you feel. And that is why this whole thing of this brand story comes into the picture. And in fact, I have a whole course on the story workshop, wherein we get into the details of what is your USP, what is your unique positioning, what is your how do you craft your elevator pitch, what is your brand story, and how do you actually authentically put it out there in a way that people communicate with you, and they understand your why, and they understand why you do what you do. Also, it is very important in the about me section of your website. So if somebody goes on the website, the most often visited pages are actually the homepage and the about me page of the website. And that is what people read, because they really want to know more about you. And that is the place where it is your opportunity to connect with your audience with the help of the stories, which is very powerful. In fact, in today's era, because of the current information overwhelm, the only way to reach your audience is through the power of storytelling. And I really can't stress this enough, because I'm a huge proponent of storytelling. In fact, I feel I'm a storyteller at heart.
So do you think of making any movies or anything of that sorts?
No, nothing like that. But yeah, I love this part of marketing, and I've read so much on the topic, and I've read so many, so many stories of brands. In fact, I have a Facebook group where we have actually gone and in detail and done all the brand stories. So right from the Airbnb, the Starbucks, the Amazon, the Apple, or you name it, and all. It's almost like a 40 minute live which I have done, where I have taken the audience right through the entire the all the details about how the brand came into being and why it is so and stuff like that. And when I was doing these lives, when I was preparing for these, when I was reading that, I realized the power of the storytelling.
Storytelling.
And yeah, so it's definitely there. Yeah.
So my previous question was about outsourcing the work. Now you told
Yeah.
that it is important that you at least know how everything is done. So imagine
Yes.
some dentist is planning to start out on their own, doing this on their own. How
Yeah.
much time do you think it would consume per week or per day?
Per week. So if you are using the correct scheduling tools, okay, and most of them are free. So the Facebook Creator Studio is a free tool. If you are using even the basic tools, and if you just take out, say, 1 hour every week, say on a Saturday or a Sunday, if you're just free for an hour, just sit out and make the content for a week. So that would be, say, 3 Facebook posts and 3 Instagram posts. And if you're doing, say, YouTube or blogs, it could be just 1 blog or 1 YouTube video. That's all you need to do as far as a week's content is concerned. And that should get done in under an hour. If you're maybe if you are very new, it might take you an hour and a half, but mostly it gets done in an hour's time. And you can use simple things like just a smartphone and the Canva app, or any similar apps on your phone to create the content. Sometimes you don't even need to design it. You can put raw pictures and just write a good copy, write good storytelling and copywriting, which will go along with the image, and then schedule the content. So yes, it takes around an hour. And once you do that, then every day what you need to do is just go and engage. So maybe every day 15 to 20 minutes you remove, uh, say 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes in the evening. So you engage once that particular content goes on Instagram or Facebook. Whoever is commenting and stuff like that, you go and reply to the comments. You share that content on stories. If somebody has tagged you, you reply back, and you go and engage on similar accounts, or accounts which are having similar target audience. And that should not take you more than 15 to 20 minutes a day. Of course, if you do not get lost into the notifications and do not keep endlessly scrolling, which almost always happens. So yes, I would suggest that keeping a track of your screen time is really, really important, because that is where everybody falters, and that is why people get frustrated when they start doing this, because a lot of the time is actually going in just scrolling. Because when you are out there, you need to be very intentional with your time and very intentional with whatever you're doing. Only then you can use this double-edged sword of social media. Otherwise, I know people who get frustrated and who say that no, this doesn't work because it's too much of a time waste. So yeah, it's a double-edged sword, and you really need to do it with intention, and you need to understand where your time is going, and you need to time it well. So yeah.
Understood. Now I know you arrange and conduct a lot of courses on various topics, with social media marketing, storytelling, brand building, and all. So, if our audience is interested in joining one of your courses, how do they contact you and how do they get to know more about it?
So you can reach me out on my website or on my WhatsApp number, and you can link that in the description below. And mostly my 1 month program is what people are really interested in, because that actually takes them from somebody who is a novice, a complete novice on social, to somebody who is really by the end of the program, it's almost a 6 weeks program. And it's called a brandathon. And there actually we start from complete scratch, and we take the participants right uh, from scratch, from making their Facebook page, making the Instagram profiles. And through those 6 weeks, by the end of the 6 weeks, if you are doing the things, then it's a journey which we do with the participants. And that is one of the programs which I would highly recommend, because 1 or 2 just a single day programs, 2 or 3 hours, those are just simple master classes. They are simple things. Of course, that a lot of free content is available on my YouTube channel as well. So if they want, they can go and check out the content over there. But if you ask me, a program where you actually actually do some kind of implementation, then it's the Brandathon, which is a 6-week program. The only condition is that you need to be an action taker, not a spectator, and not watch, because people who come on the program, of course, some of them are action takers, but a lot of them will just watch other people take action. And then they keep thinking that one day I'll do my first Facebook Live, one day I'll make my first video, one day I'll shoot my first, reel, and then that one day never comes. So my message to anybody who's watching this, if you are thinking of starting to go on social, then do it ASAP, and just go ahead and do it without thinking much. That is my biggest message to people watching this video. Progress, not perfection. Done is better than perfect. So that's my message.
We'll be linking the WhatsApp number and her website on our Instagram page. Do not forget to go and check that out. Dr. Anisa, I would like to thank you. There were a lot of valuable content I'm sure our audience got from this entire interaction. Thank you for coming here.
It was an absolute pleasure to come and speak at the Kaizen Dental platform. Congratulations, Doc. You're doing an excellent job. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you.